Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Well, now from Westminster, though, there is no empty chair. We're joined tonight by Baroness Sal Brinton. Baroness Brinton, the victims, if you like, certainly the defeated in each of these cases, at least 6 of them out of the 9 that we've revealed, were Liberal Democrats serving MPs who failed to get re-elected. What are you going to do about what happened in those constituencies?
I think Channel 4's revelations are extremely helpful, and I suspect some of our beaten candidates will be wanting to make formal complaints themselves. We've certainly asked them to start looking at the expenses of their Conservative opponents. I think there is a bigger issue, though, John, which is about what local spending limits are all about. And this isn't the only thing that we've seen. We also saw in many seats David Cameron producing leaflets in these key seats more than the Conservative candidate himself, and declaring them to be national as well. And the problem that it gives us is that the local spending guidelines have become a joke. The Conservatives have proved that, and it's certainly not an administrative error. It is much more serious than that.
Well, now, your difficulty is that there's a time limit. You're only allowed to challenge electoral returns in terms of expenses for 1 calendar year from the vote. Now, you've got about, I think, 38 days, 37 days to go before that expires. Are you going to take legal action before? Are you going to have the police investigated? What are you going to do?
Individual candidates are certainly making a check at the moment, and I do hope that some of them will be, because the revelations that you've given today really compound the issue. And it doesn't matter what the Conservatives say. Saying it's an administrative error is irrelevant. If the budget was overspent on the local limit, then frankly that breaches the law. The Electoral Commission and the police should be involved. The limits are there for a reason, and that reason is we got rid of elections by rich people in the past. It has to be a level playing field for local candidates, and I'm afraid the Conservatives have just lost the trust of all the people in those 9 seats where you've demonstrated today that that limit was overspent.
Well, you've been a member of the Liberal Democrat Party for long enough to know that this, of course, has been an allegation levelled at the Liberal Democrats in the past, that in fact anything up to 20 years ago you were up to this sort of stuff yourselves. Isn't the fact, really, that the whole issue, the way we run elections, the way they're costed, is a nonsense, and the powers of the Electoral Commission are simply not adequate to challenge what you people get up to?
Well, let's start with what happened, as you were saying, up to about 20 years ago. One of the reasons the rules were changed was so that all parties had a very clear view about what the rules were and they couldn't break them. What's really depressing is to find that rule after rule seems to be, well, I think in the Conservatives' eyes stretched, but for the rest of us, it's a clear breach. And actually, yes, you are right. We do need those rules looked at again. We certainly need the sinews of the Electoral Commission stiffening. And frankly, we may actually need to bring it back to Parliament to have a really clear look about the sort of Parliament that we want elected. It would be dreadful if we follow the American model of big money being able to win elections.
In your view, has the Conservative Party cheated?
If what you've shown tonight is true, then yes, in my view, they've gone beyond the rules. I think they've admitted it themselves by saying it's an administrative error. The fact is, they've said today they've gone over the local limits. That's wrong.
Baroness Sal Brinton, thank you very much indeed for joining us, President of the Liberal Democrats. And tomorrow night, Michael Crick and the investigations team will reveal 20 more key marginals in the Midlands and in the north of England, targeted by the Tory battle bus, with more evidence of thousands more pounds of undeclared spending. And we leave you with this line of empty chairs left vacant by the 9 Conservative MPs we invited onto this programme to discuss our investigation into their party's undeclared election expenses. They declined. That's Channel 4 News. Good evening.